Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen. This is Mark with Killer Grub with Mark, and today we are going to make Chinese barbecued pork. If you've ever gone to a Chinese restaurant or a Thai food restaurant or something like that, and you've gotten, they call it Char Siu, I'm probably butchering that, whatever, but it's Chinese barbecued pork. It's kind of reddish. It's just delicious, moist, tender, juicy, and just full of flavor. Well, that is what we're going to make today. So let's get to it. Okay, so I've got all of my ingredients here and ready. And I'll just kind of run through the ingredients real quick, and then I'll start putting them together. One of the ingredients is this red bean curd. It's a Chinese bean curd. Hoisin sauce. All right, it's a Chinese barbecue sauce. Chinese 5-spice. Okay. Soy sauce. Red dye, which you don't have to use. You actually get some of the red color from the red bean curd. I use a little bit of red dye just to give it a little bit more red color. Then you've got brown sugar, honey, some vegetable oil or canola oil or something like that, and then one other ingredient is the rice wine. It's a Chinese rice wine. You put a little bit of that in there, about a 1/4 cup. I'm making a double batch because I have 2 large pork shoulders, and those aren't huge, but I've got 2 pork shoulders, so I'm actually going to make a double batch, and I'll be cutting this up too, and I'll show you how to do all that. But let's go ahead and get everything mixed together. I've already pre-measured my honey, my brown sugar. I put my my hoisin sauce and the rice wine in here, and then the bean curd. Doesn't that look delicious? That's sarcasm. It really doesn't, but it imparts flavor into this dish that you really want in there. Anyway, all these ingredients are readily available. I didn't have to go searching high and low for them. The only thing I didn't get at my local regular grocery store was exactly this, the red bean curd. I actually got that in the Asian food market that's right up the street from my house here. So, I'm going to give you the measurements as I go for a single batch. Now remember, I'm making it a double batch. So, you want about a tablespoon of the red bean curd. Okay, of course this is 2 tablespoons, but you only need 1 tablespoon. All right, and then the hoisin sauce, you need a 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce. There's a 1/2 cup of hoisin sauce in here, a 1/4 cup of the rice wine inside here already. Okay. Okay, so that's our bean curd, our hoisin sauce, and our rice wine. So far, that's in there. Now we want to put in. Well, we'll do the 5-spice. It's normally you're going to do 1 teaspoon of 5-spice. 1 teaspoon of 5-spice. Of course, I'm putting in 2. It doesn't matter what order you put these ingredients in here at all. Brown sugar, right? It's 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. Of course, I'm using 3. Honey, 1/4 cup of honey. And as I always try to do, my wonderful wife pointed it out to me that I forgot, at least on one occasion, I will put all the ingredients and the measurements for this recipe in the description, okay? All right, so we got all that in there. All we got left to put in now is soy sauce and the food coloring. So soy sauce, I actually prefer using the dark soy sauce. You can use light soy sauce, or you could do a combination of the soy sauces. Now remember, it's for a single batch, it's 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm doing 6, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, you can use light soy sauce, whatever soy sauce you prefer, okay? So we put in our brown sugar, our honey, our hoisin sauce, our soy sauce, our 5-spice, and we put in the rice wine. And now I'm going to put in a little bit. Generally speaking, if you're just going to use red food coloring, you would put 2 teaspoons in here. I'm using the red bean curd, so I'm only going to put 1 teaspoon in, okay? Of course, it doesn't give you any flavor. It's just the red color. That's all this is giving us, is the red color. So there we go. And then the very last ingredient, of course, is 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, okay? I'm just gonna eyeball that, but I'm putting it in 2, remember? There we go. Okay, so this is the marinade. This is the marinade. Now, while let me get this mixed up just a little bit, and then I'll grab my whisk, and we'll whisk it all up. Alright, so now while I'm whisking this up, I'm going to tell you about how you do this. Now, get this marinade all mixed up. Can you see in the bowl real good? You see how what the red dye did? And that's also the bean curd though. You don't have to use the red food coloring. If you don't want to use the food coloring, it is super fine. But your Chinese food restaurants, they do. They use the bean curd though too. I use both because the bean curd actually gives it. You notice I didn't put any salt, pepper, anything like that in. The only spices are what's in the Chinese spice. And I could read it. What's in it? It's got cinnamon, star anise, fennel, ginger, cloves, and white pepper, and licorice root. That's what's in there. There's no pepper, there's no salt in this, but the bean curd has a saltiness to it. So the bean curd is what gives it a little bit of saltiness, the salty flavor. You want to get this off because that bean curd is the bean curd isn't the only thing that's really going to be kind of there to get it to break down, but it breaks down. Okay, so there, it's all mixed up. We're in good shape. A little wipe here. All right, now we're going to cut our pork butt. I'm just going to cut one of them up for you here. I'll do the other one later, and so we can get this all put together, okay? So it doesn't take too long. I hope that everybody that is watching my video, I hope you're all healthy. We do have the coronavirus going on right now, and it's horrible. I hope everybody is doing well. This is disastrous, but we are strong, and we shall conquer and survive and thrive after this, okay? So, pork butt. Generally speaking, you don't have to, I'm sorry, pork shoulder. It's a pork shoulder roast, okay? You don't have to use a pork shoulder roast. You can use pork belly, works really good for it. I don't know if you've traveled to Asia, I have, but they actually use pork neck meat, long pork neck meat. Anyway, so here it is. What you want to do is, what your goal is here, is you want to have long, kind of equally sized kind of strips, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half this way, okay? So first I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut it in half this way. And don't think that they have to be all exactly perfectly the same exact size, okay? But you want them to be about the same size, okay? So here, then I'm going to take this one, and I'm probably just going to cut this one directly in half, okay? Okay, so this is kind of what you're looking for. This is kind of what you're looking for right here, okay? You want it to be kind of long, basically a rectangle, kind of. I mean, this one, of course, isn't. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to cut this one directly in half, just like this. Okay, so now we have 4 nice pieces right there. And if the fat is too thick on here, you want to trim the fat down. This is not too bad, all right? But you don't want to trim all the fat off, because when you cook this, because you're going to cook it, I do it in a roasting pan with a rack, and you have it sitting on top of the rack, and it renders the fat, okay? This is pretty lean, okay? This is not too bad. This one probably has perfect marbling, okay? So it's in really good shape. So, all right, let me get a Ziploc bag, because that's how I do it. I put it in a zippy bag. I'll throw these inside of here. Inside the zippy bag. Not out of my way. Okay, now I can pull this off. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the marinade inside the zippy bag with the meat. Okay. Ooh, I did get it out there. Doggone it. Okay, you don't need a ton, but you want plenty in there. I am going to be marinating this meat in the refrigerator for 2 days, 48 hours. You could do it in 24. I've done actually the last time I made this Chinese BBQ pork, I marinated it for 30 hours. And honestly, I wished I would have done it for a little bit longer, but it was still just amazing. What I'll do is I'll squeeze all the rest of the air out of this. So now I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. I'm going to leave it in the refrigerator for 2 days, 48 hours. Then we'll take it out and we'll cook it. All right, so it's been a couple of days. The pork has been marinating. The Chinese BBQ pork has been marinating for a couple of days, and now we're going to bake it. The way we're going to go about this is we are going to put it inside of our roasting pan. And what I've done is I have taken my roasting pan and I've lined it with foil. You can see it's got a rack in there. And I'm going to take all the barbecue pork and put it inside of the rack. So I'm going to put the pork on in my roasting pan. Okay. Just like this. Woo, doggy, look at that. And you want to reserve all the marinade that's in here. All right? Just FYI, folks. Don't throw it away. Now I'm going to line it up here on my baking sheet. I'm going to make sure there's a little bit of space between my roasting pan. Excuse me. I'm going to make sure there's room in between all of them, so they're not touching. I mean, I guess it really wouldn't matter all that much if they're touching. They are going to shrink up. Here they are in the roasting pan. Right? You see everything there? Now I'm going to pop it in the oven. I have my oven preheated to 320 degrees. Let's go ahead and slide it into the oven, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the leftover marinade. All right, let's get it in the oven. And I'm going to put it in 320 degrees. We're going to start with 30 minutes. Okay, set the timer. Boom. Okay, now what we're going to do. I've got a small saucepan. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this up a little bit. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to snip off the corner of that. Put it over here. Just makes it easier to get it out of the bag. Seriously. It's way easier. Alright, so now I've got that in there. I don't like messes, so let's wipe everything down. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of honey in the marinade. Okay? So we'll give it a little honey love. Okay? All right. And then we're going to put it on to simmer. And we're going to thicken this sauce while we're cooking the pork. Works out real perfect like that, right? While we're cooking our pork, because what we're going to do is we are going to 30 minutes. All right, so we got 30 minutes to get this sauce ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simmer it. I'm going to bring it up to just a real low boil, then I'm going to turn it down and simmer it until the pork is ready to pull out, which is going to be in 30 minutes. Then I'm going to glaze the pork, glaze it all the way around, both sides, top, bottom, everything. Then I'm going to put it back in the oven for 20 minutes. Then I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to glaze it again, put it back in the oven for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to pull it out, glaze it again, back in the oven for a few more minutes, and then it should be done. Of course, you want to cook your pork to an internal temperature of, what is it, 160, 165 degrees. Then you want to let it sit and rest for a bit. And that's it. All right, so 30 minutes is going. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn the temp up on this a little bit so that we can bring it up to that, just to a boil. I don't want to boil it. I just want to bring it up right to a boil, then I'm going to lower it down and simmer it. Okay? So we got that going on. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. Let's grab this out of the oven. Get it up here. Looks delicious already. All right, now we'll get our marinade and we'll put a nice layer on this side. Remember, you want to get everywhere. You want to get this everywhere. Okay. I've got them all coated real good. And we'll throw them back in the oven. And we'll set our timer 20 minutes. All right. So it's been 20 minutes. Let's pull it out. Bam! Repeat the process. Okay. Oh boy. But hey, let's throw it back in. 10 more minutes. We're going to go 10 minutes this trip. So we did 30 minutes. We did 30 minutes. Pull them out, glazed them, flipped them over, glazed them. Then we put them back in. 20 minutes. Pulled them out, glazed them, flipped them over, glazed them again. Now we're popping them back in. We're going to go 10 minutes and pull them out after 10 minutes to see where we're at. All right, so it's been 10 minutes. Seems like we've been here before, huh? But look at that. Wow. That pork is looking phenomenal. I'm going to give it another hit with the glaze. Back in the oven you go. 10 more minutes. All right. There we go. 10 more minutes. Ooh, it smells good. I want to eat it right now. All right, it's been 10 minutes. Let's check this out. I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty excited for it to be done because, well, you know, this stuff tastes good on a flip-flop for real. All right. Basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the temp here real quick, see where we're at. Okay. See if we're in pork doneness mode. If we're close, then I'm just going to pop them in and I'm going to tell you what I do in the very end. And that will finish it off. Obviously, I've got my bok choy ready. I've got my ginger coconut rice ready. All right, we're at 160 degrees. We're right there. I'm looking at it right now. We are at 160 degrees. Let me just check, make sure. Yep. Okay. So, all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hit the top of them right here. This end, with the glaze. And the last thing I do, very last thing I do, is I hit it with the broiler. Whoops. Yeah. I hit it with the broiler. I broil it. Because when you get that Chinese barbecue beef, it has like some caramelization of the glaze on there. And so I hit it with the broiler for the last 10 minutes. Not the whole 10 minutes. I'm not going to put the timer on. I literally will just turn the broiler on high and I'll just watch them, okay? I'll take a look at it after a couple minutes, and as soon as I see it starting to get that caramelization, that, you know, then I'll pull them out, let them rest. So we'll let that do its thing, and we'll be eating here pretty shortly. All right, so I let them broil, and just so you know, I flipped them over halfway through the broil process so they'd be broiled all the way around a little bit. Got that crispiness, man, they look good. So it's been sitting here on my cutting board, cooling for about 10 minutes. And now we're gonna get to cut into these bad boys. So I will bring you over here so you can get a better look-see at it. All right, so there we go. There we have it. Take a good look. What do you think? Ooh, I dribbled some juice there. I did. I'm sorry. All right. It's got that beautiful color. All right. Let's cut it into it and see what we got. Okay. So, one of the things you want to do with this Chinese barbecue beef is you want to slice it thin. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take some thin slices here. What do you think, huh? Think it looks pretty good? I'm thinking it looks really good. So I'm going to take a piece. Get down here where y'all can see. Look at that. It's really moist. I don't know if you can see that. You can see the moisture. So let's have a taste. Wow. This Chinese barbecue beef is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it is just really moist, really tender. I mean, it is just amazing. Take a look at that. If you can see the moisture inside of there. I don't know if you can see that, but man. That flavor is amazing. Oh my goodness. Excuse me for licking my fingers, but oh my gosh. Our ginger coconut rice, bok choy, and our Chinese barbecue beef. Bon appetit, everybody. This is delicious. I hope you enjoyed as much as I've enjoyed making it, and I will definitely enjoy eating it. So, if you like what you've seen, if you enjoy my recipes, get some rice here. Get a piece of this Chinese BBQ pork. Here we go. That is so good. If you enjoyed what you saw, you enjoyed my recipe, please subscribe to my channel. Like the video. If you subscribe to the channel, please ring that bell. Just so you know, if you don't tap on that bell, you won't get notified when I drop a new video. I know we are in troubled times right now with the COVID-19 pandemic going on. I hope that my video finds all of you healthy and safe. I hope that everybody is doing well. I know that we are very strong people, and we will pull through this and be stronger because of it. Don't forget, hey, let's cook. Let's cook and let's share and let's talk and let's get through this together. Thank you very much. God bless everybody.